Now, Honda knows a thing or two about the scooter market, so it's a really interesting sign of the times that they have considered to make this, the Navi. Now, while the whole world is going gaga about the Navi, I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't be buying a Navi. First and foremost, you won't be able to handle the attention.
In bits and pieces, the Navi looks quite odd, like the chunky headlamp, the chromed handlebars that rise high. There's a small tank, and the one-piece plastic panels that make up the entire side. And well, there's that round exhaust poking out at the side. And when you put it all together, you get something unconventional, loud, and a bit comical. The question is, can you pull it off?
Well, scooters are about practicality, and well, the Navi, well, you could argue that it isn't a scooter, but clearly practicality is not very high on its list. Storage? Well, there. I mean, usually you'd be able to hang a bag in a scooter. And under seat, yeah, the seat opens up and it has storage like as much you would have on a motorcycle. So in terms of storage, this is really not on par with a scooter. And then of course, on top of that, there's a little less flexibility. Normally, let's say your girlfriend or your wife would be able to get onto it with a skirt on, but here, not really.
For taller riders, the Navi might be a bit cramped. Also, the 3.8-litre fuel tank is a bit small, even by scooter standards. And let's not forget the handle lock on the Navi is like on the bikes from the 80s, down by the steering column. You could also complain that the paint could be more lustrous.
Now the Navi costs 10,000 bucks less than an Activa. And why not? I mean, look at the plastics. The shroud for the fuel filler cap looks quite flimsy. The speedometer, it's quite bland actually. It looks quite dated. And yeah, sure, it's got telescopic forks at the front, but on the whole, feels less of a scooter. So, you shouldn't buy a Navi. Wrong. You should buy a Navi, and here's why. Firstly, it looks small, so it makes it feel fun, but at the same time, it's really not all that small. The seat height is the same as an Activa. Ground clearance, a little bit more than an Activa. The wheelbase, bigger than an Activa. This is a new chassis, and you can feel it.
Yes, that means it is as big as a regular scooter and a little bit bigger in some ways, which means sitting with a pillion will be fairly comfortable. Despite this, the Navi is 7 kilograms lighter than an Activa, so don't be surprised if it gets a little bit more punch out of the 8 horsepower than the Activa does. Unsurprisingly, the Navi felt quite peppy to ride. When it comes to the top speed, Honda claims 81 kilometers an hour for the Navi, which is 1 kilometer per hour less than the Activa.
The strange thing about riding around the Navi is you actually start thinking of it as a motorcycle. So when you're slowing down, I was actually tapping my right foot looking for the foot brake to slow it down. And every now and then you'd be looking for a gear as well. But at the same time, you have the convenience of that CVT, so it's really fun and that engine feels peppy.
The 1286mm wheelbase is long, and the Navi boasts of a 12-inch front wheel. And when both things combine, a different dimension of fun is added to the proceedings.
I was genuinely surprised with how the Navi went around the corners because it just felt planted. Scooters tend to feel a bit twitchy or nervous, but this was just feeling very comfortable. Sure, still no motorcycle, but with that telescopic fork, the longer wheelbase, the nice MRF rubber, it was a lot of fun to even throw around corners.
The suspension also felt quite adept at soaking up bumps. It was pliant enough. But with limited travel, it'll be best to skirt around large potholes on the street. But you will be able to make your way around stuff quite easily because the Navi feels oh so small and so light. It feels like an extension of you.
The thing about the Navi is it feels very natural, and so you just don't want to hop off it. And I found myself not wanting to hop off it for a lot of things.
For instance, when I felt hungry, yeah. Sadly, food wasn't easy to come by in a yet-to-open amusement park. And when nature called, well, the Navi proved that it has an excellent turning radius and is very easy to ride in cramped spaces. A perfect device for urban transport. So the Navi has strayed off the sensible and utilitarian path followed by most scooters in its price range. It stayed away from being too serious and stayed like other motorcycles in this price range. And at about 40,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi, the Navi manages to deliver a combination of decent usability, wide appeal, and a big dose of fun in a funky but affordable little package.
Just think about it, the majority of scooters on sale in the market today are about being generic, about being fairly bland and working for a wide audience. The Navi is pretty much the opposite of that. It stands out, it makes you think whether it's right for you or not. And once you hop onto the saddle and experience what it offers in terms of the experience, which is a lot of fun, I think you'd be happy to overlook its shortcomings on the logical, practical front. I think as a deal, the Navi, once you experience it, is gonna seal the case for you.